What it do, future rich friends? What is up? Welcome back to another Millennial in-depth video. If you are new here, how does it feel to be my next future rich friend? All right, hit the subscription button. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you get every single time I upload a video. And now we are back to building generational wealth and financial freedom. All right, so let's get into it. Like I mentioned, I've been bigging this up for probably the last week or so. We are getting into a credit series and we're calling it Credit Fact Friday. So every Friday I'll be bringing you some information, some tidbits, some little pieces of knowledge on how credit works, credit scores, credit cards, all those good things. So today we're going to be talking about what makes up your credit score, right? Your Fico score. There are 5 components that make up your credit score, and these 5 components are very crucial. Each component is weighted differently, right? Or makes up a different percentage of your credit score. And a lot of people do not understand how to use credit properly, and that is why their credit score is always a little wonky. So I want to start off with this video for this series to make sure that we get back on track so we can get to that 800, 850 credit score that we all deserve. All right, so the first component that goes into your credit score, that is calculated into your credit score, is your credit utilization. Your credit utilization, also known as amounts owed, right? You'll see it said differently on different things when you hit the Googles, is worth 30% of your credit score. This is the part that most people do not understand, and so I'm starting with this piece. Credit utilization is such a key factor because people feel like if they use their credit and they make payments on time, that they're good. That is definitely a good way to manage credit. However, the best way to manage credit is when you use your credit cards to pay them off monthly. And the reason for that is because you get a total score, right? You get a credit amount. So let's say you have 2 credit cards. Each credit card has a $5,000 limit. Your total amount when they look in the credit sphere is $10,000, right? If you have your credit cards using $4,500 each, you're using $9,000 out of the $10,000 you've been allotted in credit. That is bad. You want to keep your credit utilization under 50%. The rule of thumb I work with when I talk to my friends and all of y'all, and since y'all my future rich friends, you want to keep your credit utilization under 20%, which means if you have $10,000 as your limit for your 2 credit cards, then you want to stay under $2,000, especially if you are rolling over the balance to the next credit cycle, which I don't think you should be doing, but life happens. Okay, no one's here to judge. That is, I was about to curse. That is fine. Okay, but you want to keep that in mind. So yes, paying off your credit cards are great, but you want to make sure that your credit utilization is responsible, is under 20% of the amount that you've been allotted, because it impacts on a monthly basis. So you will see when people are like, my credit score went up this month, but then it went down the next month and then went down again. That is because your credit utilization probably increased. And then when your credit cycle closed, right, your bill cycle closed, it was reported to the credit gods up above, and they're like, oh, she's now using 36% of her credit utilization, as opposed to last month she was only using 20%. Let's drop her score a little bit, right? So credit utilization, 30% of your credit score is factored into this, so keep that in mind. 35% of your credit score is impacted by your payment history. If you have perfect payment history, obviously that is going to be fantastic. Again, life happens. It is very difficult sometimes to make all your payments. You want to make sure you do not end up in collections. Different companies send people to collections at different time frames. Usually it's after like 3 or 4 missed payments, or like 90 days, but I wouldn't test it, right? So 35% of your credit is factored in by how consistent you are with paying back the money you owe. So that means student loans. Are you making your student loan payments on time, or are you in default? Your credit cards, are you making the minimum payments at least on time, or are you in default? Your car loans, your mortgage, anything that you owe and you don't pay on time is going to tank your credit score. This is the part that most people know about. Yes, it's very big, But there are other factors. In fact, there are 3 other factors that go into calculating your credit score. The next heavily weighed factor on your credit score is your length of credit, right? So how long have you had credit? This is 15% of your credit score factoring. Now, what I don't like about this is when you're young, you'll never really get the full benefit of it. And that is because we simply just haven't been alive long enough to have the length of credit that they expect, right? So my first line of credit was when I was 18, and that was when I opened up my first student loan. And so I have credit that's 12 years old. I believe that's the last time I checked. And that's ranked as good or okay. Like when you look at the not Expedia, Experian, and all those other companies that give you your credit scores and credit reports and show you like different tips and tricks you could do, that's always the tip I get. Just lengthen the amount of time you've had credit. I'm like, I'm only 31. I can't. So in order to have like excellent or be looked at as amazing with length of credit, you want to have 25 years of credit open. And I haven't, that means I would have had credit like when I was young. But what you can do is you can put your kid on as an authorized user for your credit card, and that could help build their credit from them. My parents didn't know. That's okay. And the last 20% of your credit score is split into 2 little tens, even though both are pretty important, but it is the smaller percentage. Look at me doing math. All right. So 10% of your credit score is factored in by new credit that you've acquired. And the next 10% is based off of credit mix. Now, when I talk about credit mix, people often get really confused. They're like, well, why is that important? Why does that matter? I didn't make the rules, y'all. I'm just here explaining them to you. Now, what it means by credit mix is they rank your credit score, or your credit score increases or decreases based off the type of credit you have. Now, what's considered good credit or good debt or good loans to have are things like mortgage and student loans, right? So that's going to weigh really heavily, and it's going to look really good on your credit report. Now, the things that they look at a little like, maybe you shouldn't be having 6 different store cards, as if you're going to have like a Victoria's Secret card, a Macy's card, a Nordstrom card. Those are weighted less as good forms of credit. You can open a credit card, just a general credit card that will help to kind of boost you into the right positive side, as opposed to a store card. So they're looking to see the variety of credit that you have, right? Do you have a car loan, a mortgage, student loans, a credit card? Those are the types of things they're looking for in order to give you that 10% of your credit score. And the last 10% is new credit. And what this means is how many new accounts do you have versus how many old accounts do you have, which is why you'll hear a lot of people say, even if you pay something off, don't close the line, keep it open, or it's going to tank your score. That's not 1,000% necessarily true, but they are looking to see when's the last new account you've opened, how long have you had this account open, what's the payment history on this account, and hard inquiries are going to, they're going to disrupt the credit score that you're accustomed to, that you've worked so hard to earn. I know when I had hard inquiries when I was getting a mortgage, I was like, all right. And hard inquiries take 2 years to come off, so that's kind of annoying. But these are the 5 factors that go into making your credit score. And these are the things you want to think about when you're opening new lines of credit, when you're spending money, when you're paying back credits, when you're closing accounts. All of these things play a role in your credit score, that ultimate credit number. And the closer you get to 850, obviously the better you're managing and doing with those 5 factors. And that's it. All right, future rich friends, I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.